Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my verbal journal. I'm Maci, your host, and I'm super excited to be back for a solo episode today. The topic of today's episode came from a friend, Ellie, as I was talking to her about my lab in one of my classes and just how I gained kind of a new perspective about my own life and other people, and just kind of realized how small things every single day that might not matter to us or we might not even notice make a huge impact on other people. And a lot of the things that we complain about are actually things that people would kill to have, and problems that people would kill to have. So this episode isn't about feeling guilty that you have things that others don't, but it's more just about self-awareness and stepping out of our own little bubbles. But before we get into the main portion of the episode, I have a few other things I want to touch on. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much to all of you who reached out or showed support to my most recent Instagram post about my experience with overexercise and undereating. That was really difficult for me to share, but I know other people are struggling with similar things, and I want you guys to know that you aren't alone and it does, in fact, get better. And if you are totally lost right now and don't even know what I'm talking about, you can go check out my post on Instagram at myverbaljournal.let'schat. It's linked in the show notes. But yeah, it's been over a year of me struggling with overexercise and undereating, and for so long I was just in denial about it, which is completely normal, but deep down, I knew my habits were toxic and not serving me. And I'll talk more about my experience and how I've been able to heal on an episode soon. But I wanted this week to be something everyone can kind of relate to and just hopefully leaves you feeling positive with a new perspective on your day or just life in general. I wasn't going to record. It's currently Sunday night and I just finished dinner and the Avs game is starting soon, so this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. So yeah, let's just start with our segments where I share some things I've been loving lately and then an unpopular opinion that I have. Oh my god, that's a bug. Ew, gross, get out of my room. Anyways, okay, so it's almost Halloween and for some reason I'm already excited for Christmas. So I'm really trying to embrace fall right now without getting ahead of myself. I love fall and winter so much, but if you're in school right now like me, this is kind of the part of the semester where everything seems to be piling on and you're not quite to that final push of exams. And Thanksgiving break is still a little ways away, but at the same time, it's coming quicker than you think, which means finals are coming. But then you also have other tests and projects due before that, so it just can feel like a lot. At least that's how it feels for me right now. So I'm just kind of focusing on managing stress right now and staying locked in. But for me, it's not getting locked in that's the problem. It's like that tunnel vision that I get. I get in these like zones where I'm so focused on productivity and achieving my end goal that I forget to take time to rest or do things that fill my cup outside of working toward that goal. Um, like I don't make enough time to socialize or get enough sleep. I just get in a routine of like gym, school, food, and like block out everything else. And I already can come off and like come across as intense to people when they first meet me. So when I get in these zones, I fear that I do scare people off even more, which is never my intention. But I genuinely am so hyper focused on success that I will like subconsciously isolate and put out a vibe that says like I'm in a rush, please don't bother me, don't talk to me. Um so yeah, I fully admit that. Now that I'm self-aware, I'm trying to change my habits, change my body language, and just take extra time to step outside of my own zone and allow the softer, more humorous side of me come out, because not only does it positively impact others, but it also helps me manage stress and brings me back to earth in a sense. So this fall, I'm not confining myself to a grind era or a rest era per se, but I'm trying to live somewhere in the in between. So with that in mind, some of the things I've been loving lately is the fact that it's hockey season. Go Avs. Finally can watch Avs games every other night, which is literally my favorite thing to do. Um, we had a rough start to the season, but we're getting in a groove. 4 wins in a row. So these games kind of allow me to escape and they give me a study break and just something to look forward to consistently that kind of like gets me to do my work during the day so I can like look forward to watching the hockey game at night. Unfortunately, I am living in Texas right now where no one could give two shits about hockey, which makes me really sad. So I don't really get to enjoy watching the games with other people, but um, that's okay because I'm totally content watching them alone. And that leads me into the other thing I've been loving lately because I eat this while I watch the games. In fact, it's a Japanese sweet potato, and then I put like monk fruit syrup and cinnamon. And currently, as I'm recording this, I have one baking in the oven, and I'm going to eat it and watch the Avs game after this. So kind of goes perfectly into what I've been loving lately. But I literally cannot put into words how much I love Japanese sweet potatoes. Like, you guys know I'm obsessed with sweet potatoes in general, and don't get me wrong, I still love regular sweet potatoes, but the discovery of Japanese sweet potatoes has like taken the obsession to a whole new level. They're like bright purple on the outside, and then the inside is white, and they just have an even better texture and flavor than traditional sweet potatoes, and they're actually the best things I've ever eaten. Like, if I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, it would literally be these. So I'll bake them at 400 degrees for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then drizzle monk fruit syrup and cover them in cinnamon, and they're so yummy. You definitely need to try it. You can also make them savory if you don't like the sweet version of them. But yeah, I get mine from Sprouts. A lot of other grocery stores never have them, but Sprouts usually does. So highly recommend trying if you haven't. And if you're someone who doesn't like regular sweet potatoes, I would encourage you to try a Japanese one and reevaluate your hate for sweet potatoes. Just give it a chance. It doesn't have like that rooty vegetable, like fibrous taste and texture that regular sweet potatoes have. So yeah. Anyways, enough about sweet potatoes and hockey. My unpopular opinion this week is that Qdoba is better than Chipotle. I said it. Qdoba has fresher ingredients in my opinion. Their chicken is better, their vegetables are better, and they just have more options for toppings. They have pickled onions, jalapeno slices, they have seasonal toppings, different corn, and their chicken is just like much more authentic and less like it like, you know how Chipotle you get like those bad chewy or like crunchy pieces, and that like whenever I get Chipotle, like literally a quarter of the chicken is like inedible, and then you get that gross piece and it just like ruins the whole bowl because your appetite's just ruined, and the texture I can't even explain it. But yeah, Qdoba's superiority all the way, had to say it. So yeah, those are the segments for today. But with that, let's get into today's episode, which is about gratitude, self-awareness, and just opening your eyes to what's going on outside of our own little bubbles. I've often struggled with getting too wrapped up in my own life and complaining about things that are so small in reality, but I build them up and then get super overwhelmed, and I'll blame other people or I'll feel sorry for myself. And there's nothing wrong with having those moments. We all have them. And I cannot express how much I hate this saying when people are like, oh, well, someone has it worse, so stop complaining about it. Or like, people are starving across the world, so don't, like, it's like, okay. And they just like invalidate how you're feeling. So that's not what I'm trying to do here. But it can be really hard to see other perspectives or appreciate life when you get like too caught up in your own bubble. But yeah, I've also struggled with feeling guilty and feeling bad because I have opportunities and things that just so many other people would kill for. And it's made me question whether I deserve certain things or not. And it's caused me to even go to the extent of like punishing myself consciously and subconsciously for like giving up certain things or not living up to the high expectations that I set for myself. For example, when I got into college and got an academic scholarship, I was so excited and proud, but equally felt guilty or undeserving. I felt like because I grew up with money and a supportive family and access to food, access to sports, education, all of that stuff, that I like had a leg up from other people, and therefore my accomplishment wasn't really an accomplishment. It was just doing the bare minimum. And other people who had much less than me achieved the same things or things even more impressive than I did. And that feeling of guilt, it just caused me to never really celebrate any of my wins because part of me always felt undeserving. And I've always felt super uncomfortable when people praise my accomplishments, and I'll try to like downplay them because part of me just doesn't feel worthy. And I view things as expectations rather than something to celebrate. When in reality, I should be able to celebrate these wins, and I have no reason for feeling guilty or undeserving. Because the only time you should ever feel guilt over achieving something or receiving something is if you cheated or lied to get yourself there or put someone else in harm or something like that, you know? Like if you put in the work, you have no reason to feel guilt. It doesn't matter if you started with more than another person and had support along the way. You're equally deserving. So, that being said, it's important to still be aware of people's situations outside of your own and realize that it's different. And even though you shouldn't feel guilty for having something that others might not, it's important to kind of recognize and appreciate the blessings you've been given and give back to others. So, when I say give back, in no way does that have to be monetary. While yes, money can be a great way to help, you may not even realize how impactful the smallest things you do can actually be. Like simply acknowledging someone and engaging in a conversation with them or complimenting them can turn a person's day around. I know that sounds cliche, but just hear me out. For one of my classes, we had 5 labs where we worked with the university's staff and various food services offered. And when I was first told this, I was like, this is bullshit. We have to go work. Like, I'm paying for this class and we have to go work on campus at these places when I've already had a minimum wage job. Like, why am I being forced to go work? Like, what am I going to learn from that? Blah, blah, blah. Bitching and complaining, per usual. But once I kind of started and had these interactions, I realized that, holy shit, like, I actually am learning a lot from this, and I needed this experience to kind of open my eyes because going to a private university and having access to all these resources and stuff, we just take it for granted, you know? And I just never realized, like, I mean, I guess I always realized, obviously, that not everyone has that opportunity, but this just kind of opened my eyes. But yeah, these people working, they're working all day to make and serve food to the student population, and most of them didn't ever have an opportunity to even get a college level education, and they literally only have the financial means to support themselves and their family's basic needs. And I don't say this to like shame them or make you feel pity for them. In fact, it's literally the opposite, because the interactions I had with these people made me realize that they're some of the most grateful, happy, and kind people I've ever come across. Literally every single one of them enjoyed the simplest things in life and things that I realized I constantly take for granted. Things like having the ability to go out to lunch with a friend without having to think about, oh, is that going to fit into my budget? Do I have the means for that? What am I going to have to give up to be able to do that? Do I have a coupon? Like things like that. Spending time with your family. Like you might complain about having to do that or having to go out of your way to like spend time with people you care about. Like obviously you want to do that, but at the same time, like these people have kids and they're not able to be with them all day. And so that time that they do have with them, they just really cherish it. And simple things like having a car to be able to get you from place A to place B. Like the fact that you get a nail in your tire or you you have to stop for gas, like, or there's traffic. Like, just the fact that you have a car to drive in is something that a lot of people don't have, or like are like barely struggling to pay off. Things like having a gym, access to a gym, and having the money to go there, like that is such a blessing that not a lot of people have. And like all of us are probably like complaining about, ugh, gotta go work out today. Like, but think about it with a different perspective, because a lot of people would kill to have that. So just little things like that. All the workers there had like their regular customers that they talked about and would get super excited to see and talk to. And it just made me realize that our interactions with people, literally, even if it's the smallest fraction of our day and seems super insignificant to us, can literally be the highlight of their day or even their week. And it would be so easy for them to be overcome with envy and view their job serving food to privileged college kids as unfair and awful. But instead, they treat us with respect and kindness and genuinely enjoy getting to know us. They look forward to conversing with us and learning more about who we are and what we do. So the next time you go out to lunch or grab a coffee, instead of rushing or staring at your phone, ask them how they're doing, compliment them, make conversation, because that tiny bit of effort it takes for you to do that can really positively impact their day. And it's just small things like the fact that our university puts on concerts and we get to go to them for free. Like one of the girls I was talking to, she was like, yeah, I got to go to a concert for the first time this month and it was amazing. Like I was able to save up and like put away money and it was just so much fun. And I was like, that's just something that we just like expect. And we're like, oh, cool. Yeah, our school's putting on a concert, like whatever. So just being more aware of stuff like that. And this is coming from someone, I am constantly in a rush. Like I'm always trying to make every aspect of my life as efficient as possible. Like I hate wasting time. I plan my days down to the minute to just ensure that I'm getting as much done as I possibly can. And this gives me that tunnel vision I talked about earlier. And it just makes me like unable to be present in the moment because I'm always focused on what's next. It causes me to have severe road rage. If someone's going under the speed limit, or let's be honest, even if they're going the speed limit and not going 5 over, I get so angry. I'm like, come on, I just need to get to where I'm going. Like, let's go. Also, sorry, I'm kind of fighting off a cold right now, so sorry for the sniffling. But anyways, road rage, extremely awful. I'm working on it, trying to work on it, becoming aware of it. But other things, like if my order at a restaurant is delayed or they get it wrong the first time, all I can think about is how the timing of my day is going to be off now. My day's ruined. Like if I have an appointment and I show up and the staff's behind, so I have to wait extra long, I get mad because, oh, I could have gotten more done at home if I didn't leave as early, or I could have switched that laundry instead of rushing out the door to be on time for the appointment. But this really is a horrible way to live life. Like, you can't be mad at what could have been because it's literally irrelevant. It's impossible to be in control of every aspect of your day. So allowing in more flexibility and releasing some of that control actually makes you more productive because your brain can focus on what's in front of you instead of being consumed with decision fatigue and calculating perfect timing and then wasting time being frustrated and bitching about things not going to plan. Because sometimes those disruptions to our perfect plan can actually be the biggest blessings. Maybe the traffic that throws off your daily lunch stop or gym time and forces you to change your pattern will actually cause you to meet a lifelong friend. Or maybe it saved you from getting in a horrible car accident. Or maybe it was just meant to get you out of your own bubble and hit you with some karma. Like, all of those things are possibilities, but regardless, being in a constant rush prevents us from appreciating or even noticing the small things around us. Like, constantly focusing on what's next ruins what's right in front of you. Nothing will ever be enough if you can't enjoy milestones or small moments with loved ones. because no one is keeping score of how productive your day was each day. There's no productivity Stanley Cup, so stop competing and just start living in the moment. And I'm literally talking to myself here because I need this advice more than anyone. But yeah, we literally complain when we have to go to class at 8 a.m. to literally learn and pursue a degree that's going to provide us with so many opportunities. Meanwhile, the person who served you coffee on your way to that class probably got there at 5 a.m. and is working for minimum wage, and the highlight of their day was making you your daily latte and seeing you in the morning. So I'm not saying this to make you feel guilty. I'm saying it because it just puts things in perspective and it makes our inconveniences seem less significant and allows us to feel grateful and just take advantage of the opportunities we do have. I believe that knowledge is power, and it is the only thing that no one can ever take from you. And it pains me every single day when I see people taking their education for granted. And I'm not saying this to call you out. I've taken my education for granted time and time again. I complain about homework and tests all the time. But I remind myself that number one, I worked hard to get here and I deserve to be here. Two, so many people would die to be able to attend even one class where they get to learn about something they're passionate about or something that's setting them up to be successful in life. And finally, the work I'm putting into school now is going to be worth it one day when I'm able to achieve my long-term goals in my career. When we encounter so many what is that beeping? Pause. I will be back. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I think one of the smoke detectors needs its battery changed. So I can't figure out which one it is right now, but anyways. Yeah, so we have so many interactions with people each day, whether it's in person or online, and we don't even think twice about a lot of them, but at the same time, we're constantly consumed by what others think of us. It's like actually insane if you think about it. Like, we're so focused on ourselves, yet we also think that everyone's eyes are on us and everyone's judging us. So instead of hyperfixating on what others may or may not be thinking about you, because in reality, they're literally only focused on themselves. And they definitely didn't notice that you had a piece of hair sticking out of your ponytail, or your shirt was on inside out. Or so like it literally does not matter. So focus on lifting others up around you and appreciating the small things. Because it's human nature for us to just want what we don't have. We complain that it's too cold outside, but then when it's hot, all we want is for it to be cold. When we're little, we just want to be grown up, but when we're grown up, we'd give anything to be able to go back and be young again. When we complain about how long our day was, but then we look back and feel sad that time went by too fast. So I'm not saying that you need to stop complaining and just be happy all the time and appreciate everything you have 24/7. Because I know that's not realistic. Your feelings are not invalidated because someone else has it worse. Sometimes we need time to vent and to feel shitty, but that shouldn't be how it is all the time. So just try to get out of the habit of trying to get in the habit of expanding outside of your own bubble and taking off the tunnel vision, virtual reality, Apple Vision Pro bullshit, and just be present. Take the extra 30 seconds to have a conversation with someone new or compliment the person taking your order. Just spreading the energy that you want to be able to absorb. Filling other people's cups. It just also helps you fill your own. And you never realize how big of an impact the little things you do or say actually have on other people. So with that, I have a challenge for you all this week. Next time you encounter someone who works on your college campus or at the Starbucks or your gym, just anyone any stranger, start a conversation with them. Ask how they're doing, show an interest in who they are as a person, instead of allowing your brain space to be like overtaken with fear of what others think of you. Focus on what you think of you. Instead of calculating how to make your day as productive and efficient as possible, take a moment to slow down and enjoy how far you've come, and trust that what's meant to be will be. Focus on spreading the energy to others that you wish to circle back to you. Don't feel guilty about what you have. Just show gratitude and take advantage of these opportunities and use them to improve life for others by giving back. Because what goes around comes around. So, that's all I have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I know some of it's cliche and it can be honestly kind of annoying to hear, but it truly is important to just be reminded of every once in a while. It's super easy to get caught up in the hustle that we forget to appreciate the simple blessings we have. We forget that things we complain about are things others would do anything to have. So yeah, I hope this episode kind of gave you a new perspective, or maybe just made you realize that some of your problems are less scary and aren't as bad. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and don't forget to slow down and give back. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it, rate the show, leave a review. It helps so much. I truly do put a lot of effort into every single episode and all of the content that I share on Instagram, because I want you guys to know you're not alone, and I want to help as many people as I possibly can. So yeah, I love you guys so much. I'm going to go watch the Avs game and eat my sweet potato now, but I'll talk to you guys soon. Much love, Maci.